Food is a great way to experience other countries without having to get on an airplane, but it's got to be authentic to really get that culture. And if you love Filipino food, there's a new place in West Michigan you got to know about.
Yeah, we went. It's called Adobo Boy, and it is the culmination of a 20-year dream for the owner and his wife. Ace and Jackie invited us all, the Morning Mix crew, out to their new restaurant for lunch, and it was so good. Take a look. We all know that the best way to experience another culture is through the food. It's the one thing you talk about when you come back from vacation. And Ace is bringing the Philippines to West Michigan. As a matter of fact, he's done it. Hey, Ace, talk about Adobo Boy. You're saying this is your dream.
This is a dream, Todd. You know, like 20 years ago, I met my wife in a Filipino restaurant. And that's where the dream kind of started. You know, we talked about like, hey, maybe in the future we could maybe work together in a place where we could retire and we work together. And in a Filipino restaurant, perhaps. And so this is 20 years in the making.
Here it is. You and your wife have opened this awesome place right here on North Plainfield. Let's walk through what is going to be happening in our mouths because, I mean, holy cow, this table, this spread of Filipino food that you've brought is so authentic. Talk about what ingredients you're using.
You know, we try sticking true to the authenticity, but I mean, there's some limitations to the ingredients, but we love the flavors that we bring in here. These are the flavors that we grew up in. Our grandmas, our lolos and lolas, those are our grandpas and grandparents, and our nanays and tatays, our dads, moms and dads, they brought in the flavors that we remember, and so we just kind of duplicated those flavors.
Well, tell me what that is. If someone was unknown, they had no idea, well, how would you describe the flavor profile of Filipino food?
I would say that Filipino food is so diverse because there's so many influences in the Philippine cuisine. We were colonized by Spain for about 333 years, so there was a trade route between Mexico and Philippines at one point, and the flavors from Spain, and also when the Philippines became a territory of the United States. But also the Filipinos developed what we call the adobo. The adobo is a cooking process, and it's a way to preserve meats, vegetables, and that became our national dish. Like a melting pot of different cuisine, but each region has their own distinct flavors. The Philippines has 7,641 islands. So each parts of those islands and each region has their own distinct cuisine.
Did you say over 7,000?
7,641 islands.
That's a lot of islands. Which one is yours? Where's home?
I'm Manila, so
Manila?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want authentic Filipino food? Let's dig in because, well, you said one of your dishes, Red's
pork adobo.
Red's
That's
pork
our son's
adobo.
favorite.
That is your son's favorite. Let's start there.
So our son, when he was 3 years old, he always asked his mom for like the pork adobo. So what happened is like we started calling him Adobo Boy.
Okay. So this is where the name came from. It's really your son.
It's our son.
All right.
Everything's about our son.
I love it.
We just love him so much. And so this pork adobo is braised in soy sauce and vinegar, so it's got nice and tenderness to it. You know, my wife, she cooks everything from scratch, so it's so tender. We pair it with, you know, a fried egg and the rice right here.
And you got all these amazing noodles.
So the noodles is called pancit. The
Okay.
pancit is something that we would use for celebratory. So if there's birthday parties, or distinctly guests like you, Todd,
the fancy
coming in,
noodles,
and
right?
we're gonna make the noodles. This fish right here, Todd, came all the way from the Philippines. It's called bangus.
You got Filipino buffalo wings.
Per se. This is a dry rub, so what we did was we rendered this one soup that we really love. It's called sinigang. Sinigang is a sour soup in the Philippines.
Okay.
So we made a dry rub out of it. So it's made out of tamarind and guava. So it's got nice sour flavor profile.
I almost forgot.
Yes,
we have dessert.
I don't know if we can show. Can
unlike,
we show that one?
yeah, we can show this. Unlike any dessert that you've probably ever seen.
3 different ice cream in this bowl. So we make this in-house. One is ube ice cream.
That's the purple one.
Purple one.
Okay.
Ube is made out of a root plant called ube. So it's kind of like a potato, but it's
like a yam almost, right?
Purple
like
yam, per se.
yam.
So when you cut it open, it's purple on the inside.
Oh.
It's such a beautiful little root plant. This one is cheese. We love cheese in the Philippines. So we have a cheese ice cream.
I gotta have that.
You gotta have that.
Oh, I gotta have that.
And then this green one's my son's creation. There's a dessert in the Philippines called boko pandan. Pandan is an aromatic leaf.
Okay.
So we pair it out with coconut, and it really is green. So you got the trio ice cream right here.
What a trio. And then you've got another one. What is this
Yes,
guy here?
this is one of our specialty ice cream. This is called flan ice cream.
flan.
Yeah,
Familiar
so
with
it's
that?
got a little bit more caramel taste to
Yeah.
it. And what we do is we pair it with this rare salt that came all the way from the island of Bohol.
You're telling me, okay, you're telling me that's salt.
This is salt.
It,
Looks like
it
a
comes,
dinosaur
it
egg,
comes
right?
like this?
Yes.
Okay, where is this from?
There's an island called Bohol in
Okay.
the Philippines. Imagine, I mentioned earlier, 7,641
Yeah, there's a lot of islands, right?
But only one island makes this, and unfortunately only like maybe a few families left that actually
So this is
manufactures
very
this.
exclusive.
Very exclusive, just for you, Todd.
Oh, God. You're so kind.
What we do is we just kind of dust it, this flavorful flan ice cream with some of the salt. So it becomes like a salted caramel experience.
Let's get the location out. You're right here on Plainfield. Give them the address.
Right on 4492 Plainfield Avenue Northeast, right next to Flo's Pizza if you're, or by kind of like by Lowe's
By
area.
Lowe's or across from the Kia dealership. You're
There's
gonna
so many
find-
places here.
Oh my goodness.
About like 5 miles.
And there's another way that you can actually dine here, and that is around, you have like a chef's table type
We
of.
do have a chef's table on Saturdays by reservation.
Okay.
We do reserve up to like 10 to 16 people.
Okay.
And we call it the Kamayan feast. Kamayan means hand, so Kamayan means eating with your hands.
Okay.
So what we do is we spread banana leaves on the table, and then we intricately put the food in the middle and just kind of teach you.
And it's- yeah, you're eating with your
Filipino way,
hands.
Yes.
Oh.
And we talk about the cuisine, talk about the food that you're about to eat. It's such a great experience.
And it doesn't get more authentic than that. I mean, you want food from the Philippines? Well, save the plane ticket, get on Plainfield, and come up to Adobo Boy. Ace, thank you so much. Let's dig in.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Appreciate it.
Well, now that you're hungry, you probably want to know where to go. 4492 Plainfield Avenue. That's where you're going to find Adobo Boy. If you want a preview, adoboboygr.com.